welcome to the Southern Yankee, or the Yankee Southerner, depending on where you're from. She's from the south, deep south, like South America. I'm from the north, New England, more specifically Maine. So, depending on who you're talking with, you got the Yankee Southerner or the Southern Yankee. So, welcome to the Southern Yankee Homestead. We're going to be going through our primary garden today. I hope you enjoy the tour. It is a little bit long-winded, but I'm sure my wife will edit it down as you're looking at her from here up right now. This is our third year on this garden. Third year on this garden. And even though we're July 5th now, these are beets. They're a little bit small for the time of year, but we overplanted them and we've been thinning them out and transplanting into new rows because we use every part of the beet, so it's very useful. This is our third year on this garden. The first year it was really rough. We had the soil, actually, yeah, the clay or the natural concrete. We have some over here by this tree. See if I get attacked by Cacciatore. Which one is he? One of the two. That's Cacciatore. He's not going to be in videos very much longer. Anyhow, right here, this is what our garden base was. And as you can see, it is clay and sand mix. It's like concrete and you can't grow anything on it. So one of the reasons why our garden looks a little behind in a lot of aspects is because the last 3 years I've been bringing in tons of material to help turn that into this. First year I brought in mushroom compost and we tilled that in with peat moss, and we still couldn't hold any moisture. It made the dirt nice and fluffy, but we couldn't keep moisture. So last year in the fall, I took our entire yard, all of this space you see here as I'm circling around, all the way back to our septic system and around there. I used the yard vac and sucked up all the leaves and piled them up here on the garden, about 3 or 4 inches thick. And then on another tour you'll see the other garden, or the orchard garden, and that is where we actually stored the horse manure that I brought in. I brought in about 16 yards of horse manure and topped this entire thing with about half of it. Because of that, and because horse manure has a large percentage of wood chips in it, we actually didn't get a good breakdown and start creating really good dirt until about the beginning of June. So a lot of our garden is catching up now. Yeah, I'll take you down to that end so that you can see what this actually looked like. And then we'll go over what we have besides beets here in a bit. These are eggplants you're seeing here. This is partially broken down, but this is ultimately what I put in here. This is what this looked like earlier this year. Is a bunch of leaves, straw bales, horse manure, the sawdust that's in horse manure, and this is not broken down yet here. You can see that's a little maple tree. Apparently they were using maple shavings. So you can see that it didn't break down very well initially. On top of that, we extended the garden this year because it used to go out there further. Just about where the tripod is right now is where the end of the garden is. Probably about 4 or 5 feet ahead of it. You can maybe see the clover, the difference there. That's where the garden was. Yeah. Decided it was way too close to that. That's an oak tree. That oak tree helped fertilize the garden this year too. But right about where that second to the last post is where the garden used to end, and I extended it out further, and we fenced it off. So this end of the garden has 2 years going on 3 of material. Looking at this, it still has a lot of organics in it, but the dirt content is much better. We got a lot less clay here, or concrete, that we get in this area. And it's holding moisture better. 2 years ago, or the first year that we did this garden, I went through and tilled it at the end of the season to clean everything up, and it almost immediately turned to baby powder. It was literally that fluffy. So we got better dirt now. We're still working on it. This will be the first year I don't add anything to it. I also limed it and added borax, laundry soap, to the ground because we had issues with the beets last year. They came out warty. I'll try to explain that once we get the beets come off. So down here at this end, about a week ago, you see those little green spots there. Those are zucchini. Yeah, those are zucchini plants. Just got a couple of them planted down at the end. And we got potatoes. We tried something different with the potatoes this year. I heard about using straw as a covering and growing the potatoes on them. Well, potatoes came out like poo-poo. So you're seeing what we've done. We stripped off all the straw and we've topped it with dirt, hoping to salvage the potatoes. Don't know yet if we will, but we're going to try to salvage them. Originally, this bed was spinach. The spinach went by very quickly, and we actually didn't get any. But now we've planted peppers. So you got peppers here, and then before I get to that end, this side of the garden, you see this? That's all carrots down through there. I just went carrot crazy this year, and then Hun took and went carrot crazy and started transplanting them. So these are transplanted carrots that are coming back. One of the reasons we do carrots, they're very easy to can and very easy to freeze. And it's something everyone buys, and they're so easy to grow. Yep. I mean, just grow some carrots. You can get a flower pot that's 9-10 inches deep. Throw some dirt in it, throw some seed, throw some dirt back over it, and you're good. Those are green beans. She's saying it's a potted bean. I don't yet know what that is, but she's using her natural Guyanese name for it. Sometimes there's some translation. We'll get into the translation later. But she's saying potted bean. We'll see what it comes out, and we'll find out what the American equivalent is to it. Or Canadian if you're in Canada and watching this. So we got 2 tomatoes down there, 2 tomato plants. Don't ask what type. We bought 3 different types for 6 total plants. So we got 8 plants.
Yeah, 2 Roma, 2 cherries.
2 Roma, 2 cherry.
Master round ones.
Big beefs.
Yeah, and then
Big beefs and an heirloom.
Round ones.
Okay, so we got 4 different types of cherry or tomatoes, 2 of each kind. We tried something different with those this year, tried growing them in straw bales, and they just did not do anything. These plants are now flourishing that we've got them in the garden. So don't plant in straw bales, that doesn't work. Don't plant potatoes under straw, that doesn't work. At least here in Virginia, someone else has a better idea. But in between the tomatoes, you see some transplanted broccoli. I didn't know if we'd have any luck with broccoli, so again, in the spring, right when COVID was starting in March, I went and blanketed this entire section with broccoli. And I think just about every single one of them germinated. So Hun went through and she transplanted some in between the tomatoes, and then she made another row of them here. And then she transplanted more over here because the cabbage didn't really come. But if you look down here where she's watering, that's not broccoli. The cabbage is finally making a comeback. We should have some cabbage this year. This will be the first year out of 3 that we actually had cabbage come. And over here we have corn, and we have some of the ears are actually starting to pop. And again, this is the 5th of July, so our garden's a little behind, but it's kind of our fault. And on the outside, growing along the fence. I had to double fence it because the chickens like to eat them. But you can see right there growing up through the fence is what Diana calls bora. On the package it says asparagus beans. What asparagus bean is, if you look here, this one's actually almost ready to pick. It's a big, long, skinny bean. And these produce quite a bit, and in my opinion, they taste like green beans. But we've had really good luck the last 2 years we've grown these. We've had really good luck with them. So we thought we'd try them this year. And part of the learning process that we're doing is those fluffy flockers there, they like green beans too. They like the leaves, they like the stems, they like the fruit themselves, and they keep them pruned back for us, even though that was not our intention. So I had to put a temporary fence up just to keep them out of our beans so we can get some. That is our primary garden. This is, as you see, right in front of the house.
Well, thank you for watching our video and following us on our journey to building a homestead and becoming self-sufficient. So be safe until our next video. Bye.